it's not going to be good enough to just say, okay, we need to train the next generation to be able to know and understand how to use AI, to be able to work in an AI-enabled world. We're going to need to be able to go back and retrain our existing workforce.
David Dagler, co-chair of the state's AI task force and president of Maine's community college system, joining us in studio recently to discuss the commission's just released 60-page report. In it are 33 recommendations for policymakers related to AI safeguards, workforce development, entrepreneurship, and education. So we were talking about there are two camps that people fall into typically when you're talking about artificial intelligence. Those who are nervous, those who are excited. After learning everything that you have between January and now, and a dozen or so public hearings, thousands of hours of testimony, where do you fall?
I come right down the middle. I think that there is tremendous opportunity for AI to really help improve our lives, to make us more efficient, to allow us to have better lives, to make our work better. But I think we have to be vigilant and careful and understand, the power of the technology fallen in the wrong hands can be dangerous. The power of the technology imperfectly used can also result in a false narrative. So I think there's tremendous opportunity, but I think we have to stay close to it and we have to monitor it and keep it going.
The 21-member panel met a dozen times since January and heard hours of testimony from stakeholders. On the economy, recommendations include expanding support for entrepreneurs, AI-enabled startups, and other businesses where they say AI can dramatically strengthen market intelligence, allow access to previously unaffordable technical capabilities, and smooth operations. To do that, they say Maine should continue to strengthen the state's broadband and energy infrastructure, writing, the state should consider ways to forecast AI-related demand in energy and broadband planning efforts, including capacity gaps, interconnection needs, ratepayer protections, and data center siting considerations. Do you think that the political will exists in Augusta to implement these recommendations, and is it going to be expensive to be forward-thinking with this and adopt what you're laying out?
I think some of those recommendations are not all that expensive. They're sort of commonsensical. For instance, at the community colleges, we're interlacing the use of AI as a teaching tool to make sure that our students and the folks that we're training are going into the workforce prepared to know how to use AI. That doesn't require a massive reinvestment. It requires a redirection of our attention and how we're doing our work. Other things will cost some money, and I think it's important to be very sort of cautious and careful about what we're doing. I think the political will has to be there to try and make sure that we have those safeguards, we've got those boundaries so that AI is being used appropriately.
On protecting Mainers from AI-related harms, the task force recommends legislative and executive action to address things like election security, writing, Maine election laws currently make no mention of plain language disclosure requirements around artificial or manipulated content. Many other states have passed laws regulating deepfakes in elections that may offer models. Also addressing deepfake videos, writing, expanding and enshrining protections against impersonations, cloned voices, and fake personas deployed for malicious gain, including sexually explicit images.
What it requires is really a certain amount of human intelligence to make sure that we're responding appropriately. And it's not different than the spam that we get, and now we're always sensitized to how do I prove that this is a real message? How do I prove that this is something that matters to me, as opposed to a bad actor trying to get information or a bad actor trying to influence me to do something? So it requires an AI literacy, which is something that you see in the report.
The report does make a case for what members of the task force consider opportunity to carve out areas of national leadership, such as rural health care. They write new AI applications at areas like virtual behavioral health care delivery, wearables, and hospital business operations could offer major opportunities to close those gaps. Yet little of that tech is being designed with rural health populations in mind.
I do think that the work that we saw being done in the healthcare environment provided a pathway to opportunity across the state, but really especially in rural areas where certain levels of very nuanced expertise are hard to drill into a rural area, and you can provide access and you can provide very meaningful outcomes.